Do you want to know how to create a quiz and use it as a lead magnet to get more email subscribers? If so, I'm going to show you everything that you need to know in this video. Let's get started. Hey everyone, I'm Janelle Allen, Learning and Marketing Strategist for course creators. If you're new here, welcome. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, don't forget to hit the subscribe button, followed by the little bell icon next to it so that you don't miss any videos that will help you grow your online course business. Okay, let's talk about lead magnets. By now, you probably know that every online business needs to have an email list. And more importantly, you need to have a steady stream of subscribers getting onto that list. And the best way to do that is with a lead magnet. Now, in one of my previous videos, I talked about the 7 types of lead magnets that convert the best. I'll be sure to link to that up top so that you can check it out if you haven't seen it. In that video, I mentioned one of my favorite types of lead magnets, which is a quiz. So we're going to jump in to creating a quiz. But first, I want to talk about one of the downsides of having what I call static lead magnets. And these are things like checklists, guides, ebooks. Now, the downside or one of the downsides is that everyone is opting in for the same thing. But what if somebody comes to your site and they don't necessarily need that, right? Maybe they are a step beyond whatever that lead magnet offers. Well, chances are they're just going to leave, or they'll engage with other content, but they'll never actually get onto your email list. Also, you don't have a way to really segment. If you just have one lead magnet, you're missing out on the opportunity to segment your email list. So quizzes are a great option for you to do 2 things. One, it allows you to offer relevant solutions or resources that solve the pain points of your subscribers, regardless of what they are, right? So it also helps you to learn what those pain points are through segmentation. Having a quiz allows you to put in different questions and deliver different offers or lead magnets depending upon how your audience or your lead answers those questions. So quizzes are super powerful, and I think that's one of the reasons why they have one of the highest opt-in rates and they work so well. Okay? One more thing. Before we dive into creating a quiz, let's talk about numbers. Now, according to lead quizzes used as lead magnets convert around 32%. Now, to give you a little bit of perspective, I typically see an average of between 2 and 10%, sometimes as high as 20% conversion for static lead magnets. Again, that's checklists, ebooks, even email courses, actually. So something like 32% just blows that out of the water. Now, on a personal note, my best performing quiz converted at 40%. In fact, I didn't even realize that until I recently looked to prepare for this video. So I'm absolutely going to put a quiz back on my site, and I'm going to walk you through how to create a quiz for yourself so that you can get a lead magnet quiz on your website and start getting more subscribers. All right, so let's dive in. All right, so I am logged into Typeform, which is the tool that I use to create quizzes. I love Typeform, and I thought we would start off looking at the quiz that I mentioned converted at 40%. And I just wanted to show you that I wasn't, making things up. This is that quiz. So I had this on my site for a short period of time. I have no idea why I took it off because it converted really well. I think I just wanted to try a different tool, and it just didn't make any sense, right? So this, you can see the stats here, 97 responses out of 238, 40.8% completion. And that's just ridiculous. You pretty much round that up to 41% completion. So let me show you what that quiz, the questions in that quiz, and then we'll go through creating a quiz. So in this quiz, what I recommend when you're creating a quiz as a lead magnet, you want to think about the offer. And then what are the questions that you need to ask, or what are the inputs that you need in order to present that offer? So let me walk you through what I mean. This is, and really quickly, don't stress out about like what to call your quiz or anything like that first. Just think about what is my offer and what are the questions that I need to ask to get there. So you also want to think about what I call the enrichment. What's the enrichment data, if I can get it out, that you need. In my case, I want to know what my audience does. I want to know about their business, in addition to what their biggest challenge is. So this first question is asking that which of the best describes what you do for a living? And then the next question is, how would you best describe your business? The options here are, I'm a full-time business owner. I mostly sell products. I mostly sell services. I'm a full-time employee. This is my side hustle. I'm a full-time employee. I don't have a business yet. Nowadays, I would change these questions or these answers, but this is what I had. It worked really well. So it's okay to take imperfect action. But what I'm looking for here is to see, are they business owners? And if so, what do they sell? And then I had a question about whether or not they had an active email list. Now, I had this question because at the time I had a free email course designed to help people start an email list. I no longer have that active, so I won't use this question in the new quiz that I'm creating. Then we have a question that is really the most important one, and that is, what's your single biggest challenge with, in my case, online courses? So this is the question that is going to allow you to make content specific or problem specific offers to your list. In other words, this is a question where you will be able to segment and provide a contextual lead magnet based on the pain point that your audience describes or shares with you. So we've got that question. And then afterwards, I think I have to ask this. So let's just go through. It's making me answer these. So let's say I'm a consultant. That's what I do for a living. How would I best describe my business? Well, I'm a consultant, so I mostly sell services. Do I have an active email list? I'm going to click yes. Now, because I clicked yes, it's going to ask me how many subscribers. And so I'll select that, hit OK. And then we get back to the what's your biggest challenge. So watch how this works. If I say my biggest challenge is I want to use instructional design to improve the learning quality of my programs, then it's going to offer me this guide. Based on what you indicated, I put together a short guide to help you learn how to apply instructional design. But let's say my biggest challenge is that I don't have an email list. Okay, then you see it's a completely different offer. Based on what you indicated, I've put together an email course to help you get started with your list. Let's say my biggest challenge is that I don't know what my audience wants to buy from me. Well, there's another relevant offer. Based on what you indicated, I put together an email course to help you figure out what your audience wants. And lastly, if I say my biggest challenge is that I have an audience but struggle with finishing my course, then I'm going to see an offer for my group program. It says, okay, sounds like you'd be a great fit for my program. Finish your damn course. I'll send you some free info. And with any of these offers, when you hit continue, I'm next going to ask for your email address and followed by your name. And that's where it's going to integrate with my email service provider and send out that content that I promised, as well as add some custom fields and or tags so that I know which segment that you're in. All right, so that's a walkthrough of this quiz. Now I'm going to create a new quiz. I've actually duplicated the quiz and I'm going to make some changes to it, and I'll walk you through how I'm building that. All right, so let's do that next. Okay, so I'm inside of the duplicate of the quiz that I just showed you, and I'm going to walk you through the thought process for setting this up. Now, I have, just to save time, I've already loaded up most of the questions, but there's still some stuff that I can walk you through here. So question 1, I'm keeping this one. This one should look familiar to you from the original, which is, which of the following best describes what you do for a living? Now, the only change that I made, if you look at the original, you've got founder here as option E. There were a few people who selected other and typed in CEO. So I just changed it to CEO slash founder. So that's keeping that question. Question 2, I'm also keeping. I did modify the wording though. So this is, how would you best describe your business? So not necessarily your occupation or what you call yourself, which is this first question I forgot to mention. The reason I'm keeping it is because it helps me to know the language that people use to, that my audience uses to define themselves as far as their occupation, or describe themselves as far as their occupation. So that's why I'm keeping it, because when I communicate with them, I can use those words in my messaging. Now, if we look at question 2, how would you best describe your business? I'm keeping this question as well because I still want to know, is my audience selling services? Are they selling products? Are they employees? Are they full-time business owners? Or do they not have a business? So that's why I'm keeping this one. Now, I did modify this one. If you look at the old version, I just had, basically, I'm a business owner. I sell products. I sell services. I'm an employee. This is my side hustle. And then I just put, I don't have a business yet. So just a minor modification of this last question. So then question 3, now was the most important one. And this is also one that I have changed a bit. So what's your single biggest challenge with online courses right now? So right now I have 5 options here, and I'm going to thin this out even more. But we've got, actually, let me go back to the old version. We'll say yes, got that, cool. So what's your single biggest challenge with online courses right now? Here we had 4 options: instructional design, not having an email list, don't know what my audience wants to buy, and needing help finishing my course. And if you remember, I said that I had offers for each of these options. Well, my offers have changed. So I need to change these questions, right? These are the inputs that lead people to the offer. So I need to change them because my offers have changed. So I no longer have a free email course about how to start your email list. So I'm going to get rid of that one. So that takes us down to the 4. And these work for my current offer. So I need help creating my first online course. That's still going to connect to my group program, Finish Your Damn Course. I want to get more customers for my existing course. This is going to connect to a sales page checklist lead magnet that I have. I don't know what my audience wants to buy from you. That's still going to connect to a course I have called Audience Decoded. And there's a free email course that pitches that. And then this is a new one that I've added because I didn't really have any language that would speak to the segment of my audience who they have successful, profitable businesses, and they're busy. They just want somebody to fix it. So I added that. I'm busy. I want to hire you to fix my marketing. So we've got those. And then we look at the offers, right? And so if they say, I want to create my first course, then I've got, based on what you indicated is your biggest challenge, I put together an online course roadmap to help. Now I'm going to change this layout here because I don't really like that's better. So we'll change it to that. And then we have the second one, based on what you indicated is your biggest challenge, I put together, this is the same one that you saw before for people who don't know what their audience wants to buy. Then we have, okay, it sounds like my marketing audit service would be a good fit. So I'm missing one, and I did that intentionally so I can show you how to create it. I'm just going to duplicate, in Typeform, let me just do it from the top. In Typeform, you would hit this plus icon here. I'm using the statement. So I'll add that there. And I'm actually going to copy this text here just to save time. And instead of an online course roadmap, we're going to say sales page checklist. I think that's the one that I need to, okay. Sales page checklist. Fix the grammar there. Make that bold. And then I'm going to copy this here to get free access. Click continue. And then the last thing that I need to do is to add a thumbnail. So let me see if I can do that really quickly. Typeform adds a nice little okay, I'm going to upload, and let's see if I can find sales page checklist, mockup image, and then we'll hit save, and it should pop right up. There we go. Okay, cool. So I have all of my, I have my 4 options, right? Based on what they select. So now the only thing that I need to do is to add the logic. But before I do that, let me show you just the last few questions. So what's your email address, right? Because whatever they select, I'm going to need that information. What's your first name? And then I added a question, which is, how did you hear about me? This is something that I have with my current quiz, which is through Right Message. And it just helps me to know which marketing channels are working and sending people my way. So I'm going to go ahead in here and click logic up at the top, and you can kind of see how the logic is set up. Now, right now it's a mess because I duplicated this from the old quiz. So what I need to do is take this question based on your biggest challenge. So, all right. So I'm back. Basically, what I've done here is Typeform has a new editor, so it's a little bit different. So I have gone through and let me just clear this out. I've deleted any logic that is in here, right? So I've deleted that, and I'm going to hit save. And so now what we'll see is a linear path. Now that's not what we want. So I'm going to come in here, but it clears the slate. So I'm going to come in here and we're going to add logic. So, oops, that's not what I want. I want to add logic to the single biggest challenge question. So I'm going to hit add logic, and here we go. So if the answer is they need help creating their first online course, then we're going to jump to statement 1, which is the roadmap. And then we are going to keep going. So see if I add a rule, add another if then rule. So these are just simple if this, then that rules. So secondly, if it is, I want to get more customers for my existing course, then we're going to jump to the sales page checklist, which is S2. We're going to add a rule, do this, keep going. If the input is, I don't know what my audience wants to buy from me, then we're going to jump to the audience course, which is S3. And our final rule is I need help. If it is, I'm busy and I want to hire you to fix my marketing, then we're going to jump to S4, which pitches my marketing audit service. Now, that's not it, but I'm going to save that so that you can see, okay, now it's doing exactly what it needs to do. You see how it's coming from question 3, and depending upon the answer, we've got, 4 different pathways. Now, what we still need to fix is that after these statements are still linked. So if I see statement 1, it's now going to statement 2 right after that, and statement 3, which is not what I want. So I want, after they select statement 1, then we're jumping to what's your email address, right? Same thing with statement 2. We're jumping to what's your email address. Statement 3, same thing. What's your email address? And same thing with the marketing audit. What is your best email address? So now if I hit save, you're going to see this is exactly what we want, right? We want to see this. So we've got the input for question 3 of your biggest challenge, 4 different options. And then each of those options then goes to, okay, great. What's your email address so I can send you the info? Now that email address question is then Oh, the next question is 5, which is asking for their name. And then there's the question that asks, how did you find out about me? And that's it. And then they see the thank you page, which is this last icon here. And that is the quiz. So what I'm going to do is now test this out. We've created the quiz. So let's test it out. So I'm going to hit publish here, copy, and we'll open it up and give it a test drive. And Typeform, at least they used to have a test feature, but I don't see it. So we'll just do it this way. So we'll just do the same thing we did before, consultant, self-services. Let's this time say, I don't know what my audience wants to buy from me. Boom. If I hit continue, it's doing exactly what it needs to do. So let's try one of the other ones. I want to get more customers. So I should see the sales page checklist, and I do. All right. Let's say I want to create my first online course. I should see the online course roadmap, and I do. Perfect. And then lastly, I'm busy. I want to hire you to fix my marketing. I should see the marketing audit offer. Bam. So it's working exactly as it should. So now we're all set with the quiz. And the next thing to do is to go into the integrate section. If you want to connect this to your email service provider or Airtable or whatever you want to connect it to, you just want to click the integrate tab here. And you are going to see all of the options. Now, I'm not going to walk through all of the steps to integrate it, but if you're going to integrate to ConvertKit or with ConvertKit, you're going to see 2 options here. And you do want to connect with the first one, not the Zapier one, unless you're doing something that the native one won't do. But ConvertKit just announced or recently announced the native integration with Typeform, which is great. So we'll hit connect here, and then it should prompt you to sign in or give it permission. And then from there, you'll be able to set up whatever backend data that you need. Okay, I'm going to show you, I've authenticated or integrated Typeform and ConvertKit. I've done my authentication. So I'm going to show you what it looks like on the back end. It's a little confusing to start, which is why I want to show this to you. Once you authenticate, which is just entering your API key, you're going to see this screen. Choose your subscriber settings. This is the part that's a little confusing because it's asking me, how would you like to map responses to tags? So the first thing that I don't particularly like is ConvertKit is so tag centric that it assumes I even want to use a tag, and it kind of forces me to do that. And I don't really, right? I don't want to use a tag. Fortunately, I have some legacy tags that I could use, but I would much rather just map to custom fields. But okay, we've got 3 options here. I could map to all responses to a single tag. So this would be a good option if you were not segmenting, if you didn't have different branches in your quiz, you could just map to a single tag. I can map multiple choice responses to a tag, and I can also map quiz endings to a tag. Now, this is the one that I want to use, but when I select it, it says choose from the drop-down menu and nothing pops up. So ConvertKit and Typeform have some work to do on improving this integration, in my opinion. So I was able to get this one to work. Map multiple choice responses to tags. Do I want to update existing subscribers? Sure, why not? So let's hit next here. And now we're going to choose the multiple choice response that I want to map. So let's see, we're going to go with the challenge question, right? And so one of the responses was, I need help creating my first online course. And so this person's going to get a roadmap, right? I may change these tags later, but for the sake of time, we're just going to go with it. Want to get more customers for my existing course. This person's going to get the sales page checklist. Don't know what my audience wants. This person's going to get the audience course. And I think the last one was I'm busy. And this person's going to get offered the marketing audit. So we've got those mapped. And basically, the person will get a tag depending upon what they answer, how they answer that question. So we'll hit next there. And then it asks me to map the questions to ConvertKit fields. So this is why I said it's confusing, because this is what I should do, in my opinion, at the outset. I don't understand why I'm forced to choose a tag. So we'll just say, okay, I'm going to map these questions. Which of the following best describes? And then, okay, so email is the first one. So we'll go with that, email. And then you hit add a new mapping. And we'll just go with first name. And we'll choose first name from the drop down. Now, these are custom fields. So which is what I want. Oh, you know what? I don't want the hidden one. I want what's your best email address for email. All right. So single biggest challenge. I have quiz obstacle. I have that custom field. And what best, I'm going out of order here, but I think that's okay. How would you best describe your business? I think I have quiz work situation. And then what do you do for a living? I have quiz occupation. Cool. So I already had those custom fields set up from the quiz that I showed you at the start that I had already created. So that's good. Those are my questions. Work situation or occupation, business, biggest challenge. And also, I do have a new one, but I'll have to create a new mapping for that, because I have a question here. I'm not going to map. These are the statements. These are the results. But I have the question, how did you hear about me? And I don't believe I might have a source. I do. Referral source. Cool. So I've got all of those fields set up, and then I can hit finish. And now I have integrated my quiz with ConvertKit. So the last step is going to be to share this. You're going to publish this in Typeform, and you are then going to embed it on your site. And there's a lot of options for how to do that inside of Typeform. And then you can start collecting responses and getting more leads on your email list. All right, family, I hope that video was helpful. Let me know down in the comments if you have any questions about creating quizzes as lead magnets. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give me a thumbs up and click subscribe if you haven't already, so that you don't miss out on any new videos. I'll see you next time.